The vote of censure against the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has failed after less than 183 members of Parliament voted to oust the embattled minister. 136 National Democratic Congress MPs voted on Thursday to demand the removal of Mr. Ofori-Atta, falling short of the 2/3 constitutional requirement for the motion to pass through. Prior to the vote, the New Patriotic Party MPs staged a walkout and decided not to support the motion of their colleagues from the opposition side of the House.
There is not much procedural guidance in both the Constitution and the standing orders on the issue of a vote of censure on the Minister of State, apart from the TERS framework captured in Article 95 and Orders 106 and 108 of the Standing Orders of Parliament. In the case of the removal of the President, Vice President, Speaker, and Deputy Speakers, an elaborate procedure has been detailed out in both the Constitution and the Standing Orders of the House. Members may read both Article 69 and 95 of the Constitution and Orders 106(2) and 107(1) of the Standing Orders of Parliament. Honourable members, time will not permit me to go into detail, but suffice it to say that in both situations, the phrase "to be entitled to be heard in defence" is repeated.
Now, this Honourable House passes a vote of censure in the Minister responsible for Finance, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, in accordance with Article 82 of the 1992 Constitution on the following grounds. Number one, despicable conflict of interest, ensuring that he directly benefits from Ghana's economic woes as his companies receive commission and other unethical contractual advantage, particularly from Ghana's debt overhang.
Mr. Speaker, in coming to agreement on this matter, I was mindful of the ruling of your predecessor, the Right Honourable Doe Ajaho, in a motion that was brought before this House on the first day of September 2016. And that was a motion for Parliament to inquire into allegations relating to the so-called Ford expedition matter. Mr. Speaker, the handout records your predecessor are saying as follows. He said, "Honourable members, since the case of Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa and Dr. Omani Boama versus Jake Otanka Obichebi-Lamte and the Attorney General, this House is bound by interpretations put on the Constitution by the Supreme Court."
In your submission, when you said that you were relying on Doe Ajaho ruling, which ruling has stopped this House from considering a matter grounded in Article 287 of the Constitution, conflict of interest. If that is the case, if you know that there's a ruling that outs the jurisdiction of this House when
true, they are right. You said some of the issues raised, the Finance Minister admits, are right. What it means is that some of them are not right. Some of them are untrue. Some of them are falsehoods. And you want us to vote.
This is what we are being invited to participate in. This is what the committee itself, your own ad hoc committee, made the finding on ground 3 that the Finance Minister played no role. Mr. Speaker, and I can go on and on and on. If you want, I'll take you to ground 5, where they talk about fiscal recklessness leading to the crash of the Ghana cedi, and it goes on, and the Finance Minister responds very copiously, comprehensively, and the response is captured in the report.
one day he's called upon and told that you are a finance minister. Atufosin, there's no need to establish a prima facie, but the economy is going bad. Therefore, a censure motion is to be carried against you. Would you be happy, Atufosin? Or you will? Mr. Speaker, they are acting in bad faith. But I want to tell them that our side will not support that part. We will not support them. We will never support you. But we want to take this opportunity to tell you that what you're doing is wrong.
Very clear that the report of this committee has found unassailable evidence of misconduct on the part of the minister. It has found, even if it has exonerated the minister on some grounds, it has found that the minister misconducted himself with respect to a lot of grounds. Yes. And as I've stated, there is unassailable evidence of misconduct on his part.
Why is it that before he became a finance minister, Delta Bank was not a book runner? Why is it that suddenly you are everywhere at that bank?
Everywhere.
Why is it that now Delta Bank Enterprise Group, they are now the only financial institution that are taking every business? And you are saying that we cannot discuss conflict of interest. We need to set standards for our country. We need to ensure that Ghanaians take us serious, and that when we are giving jobs, it is not to grow our businesses. It is to serve the people and to make sure that Ghana becomes the winner. Mr. Speaker, if anybody continues under this to contend that the finance minister should remain in government, then we must as well dissolve parliament and dissolve government as well.
Director at the University of Ghana Center for European Studies and Senior Political Science lecturer Dr. Kwame Asante joins us via Zoom for a conversation. Good evening to you, Doc. What's your view on the walkout stage by the majority MPs in Parliament today?
Good evening, my sister. It is normal for them to walk out, but it's not enough to walk out. What the party need to do is to fix the economy. Look at the agitations all over in the area of the trade unions, labor unions, and what have you. It tells you that all is not well. And there is what the lawyers, Mr. Pebu and Co, will say, ocular proof to this. That when you look everywhere, people are crying, economic, not fine. Look at the debt restructuring program. People are saying that was just imposed on them and whatnot. So it's not enough to walk out. So if you walk out, the real tax is ahead. And the real tax is that the government is supposed to fix the economy, leave a legacy that whoever emerges as the flag bearer of the party can stand on it and campaign. Without it, I'm afraid, all becomes naught. And they will provide the necessary building blocks to build messages against the party 2024.
You mentioned Mr. Kwebu, who'll be joining us shortly via phone, but do you think Mr. Ofori-Atta's censure motion is an empty or deceptive act or pretense?
Or strictly speaking, I believe that those who came forward telling us that they are in to get the minister out were suffering from indecision. Why am I saying that? In one breath, you say you want the minister out. In another breath, you have listened to the president and you want to slow down and all that. In politics, you either take a difficult decision and be bold and then damn the consequence. But if you want to flip-flop, I'm afraid it creates political cost for you. Your constituents will believe that you are not serious. They will also believe that you are not a trusted person. So when the time comes for them to renew your mandate, I'm afraid they will turn their backs to you. And that is what is the situation now. I believe that it is incumbent upon the government to reflect on this, particularly the president, to say that now it's not only the minority who has lost confidence in the minister, but that look at the union, labor unions, all the groups and all that. In politics, we want to be mindful of public opinion. It's an important, gauge in the mood of government, the performance, and all that. So if public opinion points to this, you can't gloss over it. You do that, you have your fingers bent. I think that if nobody will talk to the president, I expect the party leadership and that the council of elders within the party to get to Mr. President and have a chat with him and tell him the situation on the ground so that he can listen. Sometimes these things work. But if they fail to do this, the cost is that they will not be able to fix the economy and they will create more problems for themselves and they will not be able to campaign effectively. That I am sure of that.
Right. Dr. Asasante, do hold on for me. Private legal practitioner Martin Pebu joins us for a conversation as well. Mr. Pebu, good evening to you. What's your view on proceedings?
Well, good evening. I must say that today has been a very exciting day, right? That the motion was moved and everything went according to plan. Because at least to the extent that they've carried the motion to the end, they've seen through the process, our democracy has been strengthened. We've moved our democracy a notch or two higher, right? Because that's the right thing that the honorable members had to do. I mean, because we can't just continue living with this very brazen, very nauseating, very upsetting conduct by Mr. Ofori-Atta, to the extent that for every CD, every dollar we borrow, Mr. Ofori-Atta and the president, their family becomes richer. I mean, can you imagine? So today, Ghana is in a deep crater. And yet, Akufo-Addo's family has become super rich. So that is what today Parliament has done by recording in history that that conduct is not on. That Akufo-Addo's family cannot become super rich at the expense of Ghanaians. That is the message. For every CD, every dollar we borrow, Data Bank makes money. Data Bank significantly owned by Ofori-Atta. Ofori-Atta, brother to Akufo-Addo. I say the word brother because in Twi, there is no word for cousin. Okay? There is no word for cousin. Your cousin is your brother. So brother to Akufo-Addo, these two, they've made their family filthy rich and in the process impoverished Ghana. Today we've recorded in history, at least by Parliament, that Parliament who doesn't see this conduct as an appropriate one to be carried on under a democracy. For us as citizens, we had given our verdict and given our own motion of censure long ago. But today, Parliament too has joined the list. So history will record that Ghanaians didn't sit aloof to allow the president to do this through Ofori-Atta. So our democracy has been strengthened. Our democracy has been moved a notch or two higher. And so we must celebrate. It doesn't matter that they lost, no. But you see how many hours have gone into it. We've told the whole world that we are appalled. We find it too brazen. We find it very nauseating that the president and his brother could do that to Ghana. You say it? Yes.
And what other options are left, Mr. Pebu, for the minority to get the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta out of power?
Look, I think the minority can join. Let's have another Kumi Preku demonstration. Yes, let's have another one. The other one, we called it Kumi Preku Reloaded. Maybe we can do Kumi Preku Reloaded race to part 3. Or we give it a short name, Kumi Preku again. Something, right? So right now we need more demonstrations to send a signal to them that we are really angry and we will not accept it. And it just doesn't end with the resignation of the finance minister, as we had called for. Actually, it's the president who should be taking the lead, followed by Bawumia, lock in step, and then Ofori-Atta, number 3. These 3 must go immediately. So let's have more demonstrations, and then of course you in the media. I think that look, tomorrow morning and the coming days, create more time to be able to interview the ordinary Ghanaian, do more vox pop. Let them tell you how angry they are, how disappointed they are that these people have run us aground. You borrow and you don't put it so much in the sectors that can turn the economy around. You see, what did candidate Akufo-Addo say in 2016 that got all of us excited that we gave him a chance?
Right.
He said he wants to change the Gettysburg economy, right? So
Yes.
two aspects of it, very clear, to change the Gettysburg economy. Which Gettysburg economy means that we're exporting raw materials and over-importing, which wasn't good. Great diagnosis. What did he do? You know, when it comes to these imports, rice, cooking oil, the fish, and chicken, these are very big ticket items.
Right.
So under his government, he was going to take steps to be able to create more import substitution industries so that we'll stop importing these commodities.
Right.
Today, what has happened? The amount we spend on those commodities have rather gone up.
Right.
So you see the abysmal failure. Yeah, so we should invest more in making better local rice production. You know, Ghanaians have acquired a taste for perfumed rice. So you do the local one and perfume it for those who want it perfumed.
Right.
Then the oil, you see fried oil. The last time I knew, I understand Unilever that sold that brand to Wilma Africa, that they no longer even produce fried oil, that the factory has been closed down. I don't know if it has since been opened. Such a shame, right? Then you come to chicken, then you come to fish and the other frozen foods. We can't continue like this.
Right.
Look, my understanding is that sometimes even this fish and the chicken and the rice, they are very old rice. They are not fresh. How? 65 years after independence, we can't feed ourselves. What a shame.
Right.
So Akufo-Addo gave us diagnosis that he will take care of all this so that we'll stop this shameful importation. And yet it has grown under his watch. This means that he's failed. And you know what? He said he was going to do that within 18 months. That's why he said within 18 months that he was going to turn the economy around. 6 years on, that is quadruple the time he asked for. He's not been able to do that. And he wants us to continue entertaining him. No. He has to go now so that we can have early elections.
Mr. Kogo, I'm afraid we'll have to end the conversation here. We're running out of time. Thank you very much indeed, private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu. Let me bring back Dr. Asa Asante. Dr. Asa Asante, are you still with us?
I am with you.
I'm going to ask you my very final question. Will the NPP lose anything if Ken Ofori-Atta is not sacked?
Oh, yes. What is it that you're going to lose? One is that if he's not able to fix the economy, obviously it's going to be difficult for MPP to campaign. I don't know how they are going to campaign because research has shown that there are many variables that voters consider in deciding who to vote for. And the first one is the economy, the economic well-being. It affects everybody, irrespective of party ideology, tradition, and whatnot. So once you are not able to fix the economy, forget it. Campaign, you have lost ab initio. Right. So they need to do that. Two, they want to get the minister out to save the party because there are people who are disgruntled within the party. If you don't nip that problem in the bud, you are going to create more problems within the party, bickering, rancor, and all that. And it doesn't bode well for political campaign and political stability. And finally, if you don't get the minister out, you are going to lose confidence from the people who gave you the mandate. That is, remember that just one vote can move a candidate to become a president and a candidate to become what? An MP. So you can't afford to lose any votes. And it's about time they reflected upon this thing and take a very important decision once and for all.
Director at the University of Ghana Center for European Studies and Senior Political Science Lecturer, Dr. Kwame Asa Asante, thank you very much.